Welcome back to Season 2 of the Love Letters to Virginia podcast. I'm your host, Vanessa Pasmino. Thanks for listening. Love Letters to Virginia, the podcast that keeps Virginia on the map, is sponsored by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started.
Hey everybody, this is Shawn Connors, your podcaster's favorite podcaster. You may know me from the 757 Renaissance Man podcast, LVAD Talk podcast, the Content Creators of Color C4 Challenge, or Back of the Cereal Box, and I'm here to talk to Vanessa, 2 Up, 2 Down, Virginia baby.
Hey.
Hey.
So how long have you been podcasting?
Oh, about a year now. But I've always been some kind of content creator, but mostly for corporations.
Nice. Okay. You've got a really nice, mellow voice.
Yeah, I learned stress doesn't get you anywhere. Part of living with a heart condition, you tend to learn what's important and what's not.
And that's something you talk about on one of your other podcasts, right?
Yeah, the LVAD Talk podcast.
Okay.
That's basically LVAD is a left ventricle assist device. Basically, I'm a cyborg, and half of my heart doesn't work. So it controls the left side of your heart, which pumps your blood out through your body. And yeah, I got a controller. I'm Tony Stark. I got an arc reactor. That's what the bag is for.
Okay.
So you got to power it some kind of way.
Wow. That's amazing. And you've also been doing that podcast within the last year?
Pretty much almost as soon as I started the first one, the need was right there. So I just did it. I was recording one anyway. Let's do 2.
That's amazing. How do you find your guests?
It's only maybe about 20, 30,000 of us in the world. So they kind of find me. There's smaller groups and support groups, and there's not a lot of information there. So it was a niche that needed to be filled.
Awesome. And you were the guy.
Hey, I try. I'm just a vessel.
Where are you calling in from today?
I am in Hampton, Virginia, 757 2 Up, 2 Down.
Beautiful. What are your favorite things about Hampton?
I like the small community of Hampton. To me, so I grew up I grew up Portsmouth adjacent. I actually grew up on a line in Chesapeake, but we were right there. I grew up in a neighborhood called Camelot. Oh, yeah. And Portsmouth is considered a small city, but I think Hampton's even smaller. Mm-hmm. And I just like the community. I like the engagement when it's not COVID that the city naturally has. Like the block parties that they naturally throw, the concerts on the beach on Buckrow Beach on Sundays. I like, and then the schools are great.
Okay. And it's not like in Virginia Beach or Norfolk where everything is on top of each other. You guys get some room.
We do, but it's like I said, it's so small. Like downtown is like 3 blocks.
That's true. That's true.
So,
but it still feels cozy and inviting and not
you know. Yeah. And I like the fact that my kids are still hanging with the same kids from preschool, you know, so I like that.
How many kids do you have?
2. Too many. Yeah, 2 kids right now. And that's my main job, is being daddy.
Awesome. So I ask everyone that I have on the show, how do you recognize someone from Virginia?
Oh, we all have a certain swagger, a certain style. But when in doubt, just listen to the way they talk. Just listen, see how many families and stick men you hear. Uh, People, we don't like to admit it, but we do have a distinct dialogue here. And yeah, I laugh and I say we're like, especially within the Portsmouth region. Portsmouth is like Brooklyn. No matter where you go, there's always going to be one person in the room from there.
That's true. What made you decide to start the content creators campaign?
I ended up finding my way into Clubhouse by accident, interviewing somebody from Virginia that was big in the Clubhouse. And at the time, I didn't even have it. You had to have an Apple phone. You had to have an invite. It was all secretive and hush hush. So I joined the community, and in that community, I found other podcasters all over the world. And we used to have a morning meeting every morning and kind of talk about strategy and podcasting goals and how to monetize and different equipment. And it was dope. I got used to the room, and all of a sudden the room kind of dissolved. And I was like, wow, there's a need here. So I kind of stumbled around a little bit, and I got into a fellow podcaster's room, and the idea just came over me. So I started a room, invited a few people over, and was like, well, let's do something to challenge ourselves. There's a digital divide. And if you look at the stats of podcasting, it's a very small percent that are creators of color. And I wanted to be able to have a space where we can recognize each other, learn from each other. Um, I like to say that we are the Wu-Tang Clan of podcasting because of the 7 original members. Everybody has their own specialty, and we get together and we like to sharpen each other and make each other better. So somebody's maybe in interviewing, somebody's marketing, somebody's administration. I like video. Somebody's an audio expert. We got a buddy that's a professional audio engineer. So that's who you bring your questions to, and we all kind of help each other. So we decided to do the 30-day challenge to see what we could create because we had all this talent in the room. Let's do something. And within 5 days, we created a podcast. The 7 of us completed the 30-day challenge. We ended up with a few thousand listens. So it was pretty cool. So now we're going to do it twice a year. And we're doing it for February, which just happens to be Black History Month and happens to be quite a few of the original creators' birthday month. You can go to our website, c4challenge.com, or catch us on Instagram, content_of_color. All creators are welcome because we all can learn from each other, you know. So I don't want anybody to feel like they're not being included because, a lot of people that are my inspiration may not be content creators of color, but we still have value to provide. So come through, holla at us.
I love that.
And listen to the podcast. Listen to everybody has their own style. And one of the limitations, so we don't have too many limitations because it's all about fostering your creativity, right? So basically, the rules are you have to create something every day and it has to be at least 5 minutes. But we're not going to say how you have to do it, that you do it the way you do it. So if you come through, you're going to get a whole bunch of everybody's content may not be for you, but I'm quite sure you will find somebody that you like.
Well, I think you've inspired me.
Come on through.
Yeah, I want to.
I'm real happy to see you in the space. We both have a love for Virginia, and I love that we're kind of telling the same story, but in a different way. And I appreciate you being there because it's awesome. It's awesome to see Virginia being highlighted this way.
Well, thank you. I'm so grateful.
Yeah. And check out 757 Renaissance Man Podcast, Elvan Talk Podcast, C4 Content Creators of Color. And on Saturday mornings, I'm a co host on the Back of the Cereal Box podcast. And it's exactly what it sounds. Imagine being a kid, spending the night at your buddy's house, and then on Saturday morning, you're in your pajamas eating bowls of cereal, talking about pop culture that just happened the week before. So come hang out with us.
Awesome. That sounds like fun.
Hey, this is Latasha Holloway. I plan to be the future mayor of Virginia Beach, but when the time comes, I will need your support. As a veteran of the healthcare field, I understand something about empathy. We must have empathy and compassion in order to improve Virginia Beach.